What if I told you the thing that offends you most might be your greatest teacher? Not because it's right, but because your reaction reveals where you're still enslaved. This video will offend you. In 6 quiet steps, you'll see how the things that offend you are the very things that can set you free. 1. The mirror of offense. It's a strange thing how quickly we become outraged. A stranger says something ignorant, a friend doesn't acknowledge our effort. A comment online cuts too deep. And just like that, something tightens in the chest. A storm brews, defensiveness rises. You feel disrespected, less than. So you strike back or withdraw. But pause. What just happened? Really, Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." At first glance, it sounds dismissive, as if the Stoics were telling us to ignore injustice or pain. But this is not about denial, it's about freedom. To the Stoic mind, offense is not a weapon hurled at us. It's a mirror that reflects our attachments, our insecurities, and our unexamined beliefs. When someone insults you, do they hurt you? Or do they expose a place in you that is still raw, still in need of healing? Epictetus taught that if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. This is not blame, it's opportunity. Opportunity to trace the sting back to its source. Most of us don't want to do that. We'd rather shoot the messenger than interrogate the message. But the Stoic doesn't flinch. He understands that the offended part of him is the unfree part. And so, he turns inward, and here, beneath the reaction, is where the real work begins. 2. The myth of control. We grow up believing we can control the world. Control how people see us. Control what they say, what they think, how they act. We dress a certain way. Curate our opinions. Play social chess to be liked, admired, accepted. But it's a game we cannot win, because the world is not ours to control, and the moment someone breaks the unspoken script, we feel betrayed. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." We imagine people owe us respect. We imagine the world should validate our values. But the Stoics say, your expectations are the real prison. Consider this. A man walks past you on the street. You nod politely. He ignores you. You feel slighted. But what changed? Did his silence harm your dignity? Or did your belief that he should respond create your pain? This is the myth of control. That others should dance to our rhythms, that our worldview is the default setting of the universe. But the Stoics rejected this illusion. They taught a radical reversal. Control yourself, your thoughts, your judgments, your responses, and let the world be as it is. It is not the insult that offends us. It is the story we tell ourselves about the insult. The insult says, "You're not enough." Your mind agrees, and that agreement is the true wound. Until we see this, we will always be at the mercy of others, and that's not offense, that's slavery. 3. The art of inner armor. Imagine a warrior, not one with sword and shield, but one who walks through the chaos of life untouched. Words bounce off him. Criticism flows through him, not because he's numb, but because he has built armor, not outside, but within. This is the Stoic, not cold, not indifferent, but grounded in something no insult can touch. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That reaction, your response, is your kingdom. It is the only realm you truly rule. Modern life tempts us to externalize everything. Someone disagrees, they're toxic. Someone offends you, cancel them. But this outsourcing of responsibility is a trap. The Stoic builds his inner armor one thought at a time, by practicing discipline over impulse, by refusing to surrender to emotional tyranny, by reminding himself, again and again. That peace is not found in control, but in acceptance. To build inner armor is to master the art of reframing. Instead of, "That hurt me," ask, "What did that awaken in me?" Instead of, "They disrespected me," ask, "Why do I need their respect to feel whole?" This is not weakness. It is strength so deep it doesn't need validation. You do not become immune to offense by avoiding confrontation. You become immune by turning your pain into inquiry. And the more you inquire, the less the world controls you, because you begin to see there is nothing anyone can take from you that you truly own, except your mind, and that is yours alone. 4. The fire that purifies. There's an old Stoic metaphor. You are not a fragile vase, you are fire, and everything that enters you, good or bad, is fuel. Insults, fuel; criticism, fuel; failure, disappointment, even betrayal, all fuel for the fire of your growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the alchemy of Stoicism, turning offense into transformation. Imagine someone mocks your ambition. You could crumble, or you could use their doubt as weight on the barbell of your will. Imagine someone questions your worth. You could become bitter, or you could use their judgment to clarify your own values. The Stoic doesn't run from pain. He welcomes it as a tempering flame, not because he enjoys suffering, but because he knows suffering refines the soul. To the untrained mind, offense is poison, but to the Stoic it is medicine. Bitter perhaps, but necessary, because every time you confront your reaction, every time you pause instead of retaliate, you forge yourself in the fire. This is not just theory, it is a lived practice. To hear an insult, feel it rise, then meet it with silence and insight. That is the daily discipline, that is the fire. And in that fire, you begin to see. You are not the offended, you are the observer of offense. And the more you observe, the less there is to burn. 5. The choice that sets you free. Let me tell you a story. Epictetus was born into slavery. He was beaten, dismissed, owned. But he said, "You may chain my body, but my mind is free." Imagine that. A man with no rights, declaring his absolute sovereignty over his own thoughts. You see, offense is not about what others do. It's about what you allow to dwell within you. You do not have to invite every insult to dinner. You do not have to carry every wound like a badge. You have a choice, the choice to pause, to examine, to rewrite the story. Seneca reminds us, a wise man is indifferent to suffering not because he feels less, but because he understands more. He understands that reactions are habits. Habits you can unlearn. Every offense is a crossroads. One path leads to reaction, anger, resentment, ego. The other leads to reflection, growth, peace, clarity. Both are painful, but only one sets you free. The question is not, why did they say that? The question is, why did I need them to say anything else? That is the root. Strip away your demands of the world. Stop insisting it be fair or kind or understanding. Instead, ask only this: who do I choose to be, no matter what? Because when your identity no longer hinges on the opinion of others, when your peace no longer depends on external harmony, then you will know true power. The kind of power that cannot be canceled, criticized, or offended. The Stoic stands not above the world, but deep within it, unshaken, because his compass is internal and his freedom is chosen. 6. This video will heal you if you let it. If you've made it this far, perhaps something in you has shifted. Perhaps you've seen it. That the most offensive thing in life is not what others say, but what we let it say about us. You are never the insult. never the hurt. You were the awareness behind it. Quiet, still, unbreakable. The Stoics weren't superhuman. They were simply honest. They saw the chaos of the world and chose not to be ruled by it. This is your invitation. The next time you feel offended, don't lash out, don't retreat. Pause, look inward, ask yourself, what part of me is still unhealed? Offense is not a signal to attack. It's a signal to awaken from the illusion that others are responsible for our peace, to awaken to the freedom that comes from ownership of the self. And when you begin to walk this path, something subtle shifts. The things that once triggered you now teach you. The wounds that once bled now guide you. This is not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally sovereign. So, yes, this video may have offended you, but maybe that offense was the doorway. And maybe on the other side of that door is the version of you that cannot be shaken, the fire-tested self, the still mind, the stoic heart. Let that self guide you now. And if this spoke to you, if something in these words cracked open a new way of seeing, then don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe for daily Stoic insights. Share this with someone who still believes offense is the end of the story, because now you know. Offense isn't the end. It's the beginning of something deeper, something whole, something unshakable.